A Chinese technology giant says it can now match the single most valuable thing Anthropic sells, an AI that keeps working when nobody is watching. That is the story on Monday, the 3rd of August 2026. Euronews reported this morning that Alibaba's newest Qwen model is being positioned as a direct rival to Claude on unsupervised work, the kind where a model plans a task, writes code, checks its own output and carries on for hours without a human nudging it back on track. Alibaba is framing that as parity. The word parity is precisely why this matters, because until now the leading American labs have treated sustained autonomy as their defensible edge in the US-China artificial intelligence race. This did not appear from nowhere. Alibaba set out a 3-year infrastructure plan in early 2025 worth roughly 380 billion yuan, around 40 billion pounds, aimed squarely at cloud and AI computing. Alongside that spending, it took a route the American frontier labs largely rejected, releasing many Qwen models as open weights that anyone can download and run on their own hardware. The result is a very fast release cadence and a huge developer base building on top. What has changed in recent months is the target. Earlier Qwen releases competed on reasoning benchmarks and price. This one competes on reliability over time, the ability to complete a multi-step job unattended, which is the exact capability Anthropic has marketed Claude on. For anyone building software today, the immediate effect is leverage. If a downloadable model is genuinely close on autonomous coding and research tasks, then UK startups and enterprises gain a credible alternative that runs inside their own infrastructure, which quietly solves data residency and confidentiality questions that block a lot of procurement. That pressure shows up first in pricing and contract terms, not in headlines. There is a caution, though. A vendor claiming parity is not the same as independent evidence of parity. Unsupervised work fails in ways that short benchmarks never capture. A model drifts off the brief at step 40, or confidently reports a job finished that is not finished. Those failures cost real money. Over the next few weeks, watch for 3 things. First, independent evaluations from third parties rather than vendor charts, especially on long-running agent tasks measured by completion rate, not single-answer accuracy. Second, the response from the American labs, which historically arrives as a model update or a price adjustment rather than a rebuttal. Third, enterprise pilots, because the real test is whether a firm moves a production workload, not whether a demonstration impresses. Expect the competitive gap to be argued in hours of unattended runtime rather than exam-style scores. And expect export controls on advanced chips to remain the background constraint shaping how far and how fast Chinese labs can push this. Here is what to remember. The AI contest has moved on from who writes the better paragraph to who can be trusted alone with a task for an afternoon. Alibaba claiming parity with Claude on that measure, on the 3rd of August 2026, tells you the frontier is now much more crowded than it was a year ago. Treat the claim as a claim until independent numbers land, then test it on your own workflow with a job long enough to break things. Judge it on how often it finishes correctly and how it behaves when it gets stuck. That is the metric that decides which model you actually pay for.